Let's get our glitter on this week. Hey, everybody, it's Whitney with Girl Friday Crafts. Welcome to the Common Canvas collaboration. This is a glittery art collab this week, sponsored by Jeannie's Palette and Nicole Pro Sparkle Junkie. This is our Sweet Treats and Sparkly Feats collaboration. I am bringing you a video that's actually from a Facebook Live I did in a group a couple of years ago. We are making some cards with Chalk Couture transfers, glue, glitter, deco foil, and then also just the transfers in regular chalk paste. So I hope you enjoy this video. Give me a like if you do. Let me know in the comments. Ask any questions you have. Let us know how you use glitter in your projects, and then make sure you follow along in the playlist to see everybody's amazing contributions. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have a great day and enjoy all of these videos. Talk to you soon. Bye.
So the next thing we're going to do, okay, so this is my least favorite, but I feel like it's just one of those ones that I need to practice more, and once I practice, I feel like I'd like it more. So this is using glitter, and I will say you don't want to use super fine glitter because it clumps too easily. So I would recommend a like medium glitter. You don't need the big chunky stuff either. Okay, so we're gonna put this down, and similar to the deco foil, we're gonna take some glue. That's probably way too much, but sorry. So you're gonna take your transfer. Now this one, I am gonna prep my glitter first because glue dries pretty fast, and use that. I want to be able to start putting the glitter on right away. So I'm going to dump some glitter out into this paper. Oh, sorry. Forgetting where my camera angle is. I'm going to dump some glitter out into this paper muffin cup liner. Actually, a little more. And I'm already getting it on the card. Okay, so this is also part of the reason I don't use this. I like how glitter looks. I don't necessarily like using it. Okay, so we're going to get the glue on the transfer. So we're going to pull this up. And then on this one, you do not want it to dry. So you're going to start, and you're going to take and you're just going to apply the glitter. Make sure you cover as much, all of the design, which is a little bit difficult doing this on a white card, I'll admit, because it's hard to see the glue. And then you've got your design on there in your glitter. Now, the one thing that is difficult, and I didn't get my brush. I have an embossing brush that is good for getting excess glitter off, but because of the texture of the chalk suede card, the excess glitter kind of sticks. So this works a little better on cardstock in terms of getting the excess glitter off by just shaking the card. But I mean, still, it doesn't look bad with the excess glitter on it. And once I let this dry completely, it'll be a little bit easier. I can take my embossing brush and just very carefully brush into those areas. And then you've got that. And then I have done cards where I have combined, I have a Swiffer just for glitter cleanup. That's excellent. And I've also combined these techniques. So, for example, like this ho 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 card, you could do the ho 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 in just paste, and then let all that dry, clean your transfer, put it back down, put the glue on the little stars, and add glitter to that. And then then you've got the paste, and then you've added a little pop of something with the glitter. And we are going to be making some cards today using this Chalk Couture transfer. This is, what is this one called? It's called From Santa with Love. It just came out this year. I have a couple of techniques that I want to show you. I should have time to do at least 2-3 of the things that I want to do, maybe more, depending on how quickly I can move. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to make one very simple card using the transfer, the card, and one of the paste colors. So we're just going to do this first card. I'm going to use this Ho 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 transfer. Anybody who is not familiar with Chalk Couture, it's a silk screen transfer. So think of a stencil, but there's mesh in the negative space, and the back side of the transfer is sticky so that it adheres really well to your surface. But what you want to do, depending on what you're working with, is it's a very serious scientific process called defuzzing. So you want to take a little bit of that sticky off so that it stays but does not lift your paste up or ink up when you are pulling the transfer off. And then we're just going to put the transfer on the card. So we're just going to get the ink, or not the ink, the paste on the squeegee. So we're going to do this, and I'm just going to grab a corner, and I'm going to pull up slowly, and sorry, there we go. So you've got this. This is our first little card. Very simple. I think I got a little bit of red on the edge there when I was pulling it up. I think I probably went too far off the transfer. But these are nice for when you're wanting to make handmade cards. I think those of us who make handmade cards, we have like a group of people that we send our cards to that those cards are gonna be a labor of love. And then we have a group that we want to be handmade, but we don't want it to take like, an hour and a half to make one card. These are nice because you can lay out a bunch of cards, put your transfers on them, go through and put your chalk on them, pull them off, and then they're pretty much done. And they're very cute. They're very nice. You can add, a little bit to them if you want, a little more embellishment. You can add a little more detail from another transfer or another stencil. But essentially that took me, less than a minute probably. to make one card. So the second one is using deco foil. I'm going to turn my laminator on. And you can do this with a laminator or with a die cut machine. I'm doing it with the laminator today because it just takes up less space on my desk, but the process is the same. So this technique involves using the chalk transfer, deco foil, right there, and then the transfer gel. And then, like I said, either a laminator or a die cut machine. So you're going to take the transfer of your choice, and you still want to fuzz it because so you're going to take the transfer gel and you're going to I apply it with a squeegee. You're not going to hurt your transfer. I have a water bath over here next to me. I always keep a water bath when I'm using chalk stuff. And I put my transfers right in that when I'm done so that they get in water right away and everything prevents everything from drying. You don't want to soak them for hours, but like for the length of time that I'm presenting, they'll be fine. And then you're just going to very carefully peel your transfer up. And then I'm going to try and show you all this, but I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it. You have an outline. Oh yeah, you can see a little bit. You have an outline of the transfer on the card with the gel. Now, the gel instructions say to let it dry for at least an hour. I have never done that. I've always used a drying tool. So what I did this morning was when I started watching the show and getting my own stuff set up, I went ahead and put, there you go, turn it in the angle, you can see it. I went ahead and put some gel on one card to let it dry for the hour. Now, it is still going to be tacky, but it says to let it dry an hour or until it's clear. And I know you all can't see it because it's very subtle. I can see the difference between these two. The question is whether or not I'm going to be able to see the difference once I've used my drying tool, and then is the outcome going to be different? So we're going to do both because, why not? We're here. So I'm going to dry this one real quick. Okay, so now we are going to take our foil, and this deco foil comes in these little containers, and there's, 5 sheets of foil in the container. Get out one sheet. I'm gonna try to roll this back up. I don't do this very well. Actually, I'll do this later. I don't need to bore you all with that. And then we're gonna just cut it down. So I am using the grid lines on my cutting mat here a little bit because the transfer size is 3x3. So I know I don't need anything bigger than that. Try not to waste the foil. We'll talk about the afterwards conversation we've been having about this technique and what do you do with the foil that comes off and leaves the design on. Somebody's got to be able to figure out something. So then you're going to take the foil and you're just going to press it ever so lightly on top of the gel. And this is the one that I did earlier this morning. So this is the one that's been dried for over an hour. And then what you want to do is you want to create a little envelope. And this is to create some depth for when it goes in the laminator. And then it's the same process for when you are going on, when you're using a die cut machine. All right, we're caught up. So my envelope is just a piece of printer paper folded in half, and then a half sheet of cardstock that just goes over. And then just going to run it through my laminator. And this is just a laminator that I got on Amazon, nothing special. It has come in handy. I've used it as an actual laminator, so it's been nice for a couple of things. And like I said, if you're using a die cut machine, you create the same envelope and then you just run it through your die cut machine. And the pressure has the same effect as the heat on the laminator. Okay, so then we're going to take this very carefully, pull this up, and so I had a little bit where the foil didn't stay. Don't know if that's because I missed it with the gel. Like, did I not get gel in that area? Did it not dry all the way? Did it dry too much? I'm still playing around with this technique, so that is something that I don't know the answer to because I haven't done it enough. And we're going to repeat the process. So this is the one that I just did and then just dried with my heat tool. Make sure that that's down really. Oh, shooty. Moved the gel, or moved the foil. Make sure that's down really well. I must user error on this one already. That's okay. Okay. Alright, I'll slide that through again. Alright, put that to the side. I'm going to turn the laminator off. And I'll be honest, I didn't think that the die cut machine was going to work as well, but it really did. It's really just about the pressure. So that one turned out okay. I'm not sure what that came from right there. I think I got a little glue or a little gel on the outside of the transfer, and so it just held down some of the foil. And then, you know, what you could do if you wanted is you could go in, depending on the design and color scheme. So even on this one, you know, you could go in with paint, or, you know, you could use a chalk paste and a watercolor technique, and you could paint in, you know, these white areas of the foil. You know, you could paint in the elf's hat or his face or his ears. Or, you know, you could use another stencil or another transfer again and still add some borders around there. This is also really cute for gift tags, because you can do this on, you know, cardstock or anything like that. So it is time for me to give you all back to Karen, or not Karen, Tanya. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all again in the new year. Bye.